This is News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for staying with us at 5, everyone. The governor is taking action as COVID-19 numbers continue to spike in Wisconsin.
He issued an emergency order today, putting a limit on public gatherings. Charlotte DeLeste joins us with more details on what Governor Tony Evers is trying to do here. Charlotte.
Eric and Susan, the governor is issuing an order today that limits public gatherings to 25% of a room or the building's public occupancy. Now, that applies to bars, restaurants, stores, and ticketed events. It goes into effect Thursday morning at 8 o'clock and will remain in place until November 6th. Numbers from the Department of Health Services show case numbers have almost tripled in a month. The governor says it's pushed health systems to the brink.
We have expectations in other areas. This is just one more, and it's one that will be temporary if we get people to understand how important it is to do the simple things like wearing a mask, washing your hands, making sure that you're not in a small room with a bunch of people without a mask. It's not rocket science. It's around individual responsibility.
There are a number of exceptions, including child care centers, homeless shelters, and more. Take note that this does not apply to outdoor spaces. Governor Evers says he does expect Republican groups to again challenge the order in court, which he says, quote, makes for great theater, but does nothing to make people safer, end quote. Eric?
Charlotte, thank you. Governor Evers says he can't wait on the federal government either to help the hurting tourism, service, and entertainment industries. Today, he also announced $100 million in more funding for them. Half of that is for what he's calling the We're All In grants. Those will go to restaurants, taverns, salons. An additional $20 million goes to hotels and resorts. Live music also getting a boost, $15 million for those venues, and another $10 million is going to privately owned movie theaters. Nonprofit cultural venues will also receive $10 million in funding, $4 million in investments for marketing organizations and tourism drivers.
People who live in Jefferson County have a new job to do. The county is asking them to do their own contact tracing. Jefferson County's health director tells us she has about 15 contact tracers on staff, but with a 79% increase in cases in the last 2 weeks, those workers are overwhelmed.
The reason was not that we didn't want to do it or we were trying to make other people do our job, but the reason was we needed help, and we just wanted to be honest that we needed that help.
Gail Scott, who you just heard from there, is hiring more contact tracers to help with the increase in cases. She's asking people to wear masks and wash their hands frequently to help slow the spread of the virus. There were a lot of people looking to get a COVID test in Madison today. That is the line outside the Alliant Energy Center this afternoon. At times, it stretched out to John Nolan Drive all the way to the Beltline. Some people in line told us it took more than 2 hours to get through.
More than 100 new people are in the hospital with COVID-19 today. That's according to the State Department of Health Services. 14 more people have died, raising that total to 1,401. Statewide, we saw about 1,700 new cases. Wisconsin has reached a lifetime total of 136,677. That's confirmed cases. More than 24,000 of those remain active. More than 210,000 people have now died of coronavirus in the U.S., more than any country in the world. Nearly 11 million jobs have been eliminated since the start of the pandemic. Many of those who lost jobs also lost their health care.
President Trump tweeted that he's feeling great on his first full day back at the White House. The president spent 3 nights in the hospital for coronavirus treatment. A senior administration official tells CBS News the White House is hoping to get the president to address the nation as soon as today. President Trump's doctor released a memo saying his vital signs are stable and he is reporting no symptoms.
The president's improving dramatically and quickly, but listen, we understand he's not out of the woods. He's continuing to be monitored by his doctor and medical team here.
The president downplayed the coronavirus as less deadly than the flu in a tweet. Twitter flagged that as spreading misleading and potentially harmful information.
Several Pentagon leaders are quarantining right now after a top Defense Department official tested positive. The vice commandant of the U.S. Coast Guard, Admiral Charles Ray, learned he was infected, and he's been to several meetings at the Pentagon recently. Several members of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, including the chiefs of the Air Force, Navy, and Space Operations, have been tested and are quarantining until their results come back. So far, at least 18 people on the president's staff, campaign, or guests at the White House have tested positive for COVID-19. Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany announced yesterday she, too, has tested positive for COVID-19.
President Trump doesn't want any more stimulus negotiations until after the election. The president tweeted today that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was not negotiating in good faith. He says, quote, "I have instructed my representatives to stop negotiating until after the election, when immediately after I win, we will pass a major stimulus bill that focuses on hardworking Americans and small businesses." The Democrat-led House passed a $2.2 trillion relief bill last week. The White House said at the time it had raised the price tag on its own proposal to $1.6 trillion. The school district of Beloit will continue with virtual learning during its second term. The second term runs until late January. Currently, Rock County Health Department is seeing an increase of new coronavirus cases. On Friday, public health officials said they had more active cases of COVID-19 than any other time since the beginning of the pandemic. Hospitalizations are also up. Were also up last week, reaching their second highest mark since March.
You may have heard about the monoclonal antibody cocktail that the president was given after testing positive for COVID-19. It's experimental drugs made by Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, not yet available to the public. UW Health, though, is one of 100 clinical trial sites in the U.S. using this drug on patients.
One of these antibody proteins came from convalescent plasma. The other came from their animal model, which is a mouse system that has a human immune system. They took the two best antibodies they found in each of those, put them together in a solution, and that's what forms this cocktail that is used as an infusion in COVID-19 patients.
Dr. Hartman points out the cocktail is not a vaccine. A vaccine forces you to generate your own antibodies, and the cocktail is antibodies.
The Food and Drug Administration wants to see 2 months of safety data after trial volunteers get coronavirus vaccines before considering authorization. That means follow-up data must be collected after volunteers get their second dose of the vaccine as part of a clinical trial. That would make it hard, if not impossible, for a vaccine maker to apply for emergency use authorization by Election Day, as President Trump wants. The agency's goal in requesting the data is to ensure that any vaccine is safe before giving authorization to deliver it to millions of people. Another sunny and mild fall day today. Let's check your forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti. Gary?
Boy, it was a great stretch of weather that started yesterday and is continuing today and will continue probably for the rest of the week. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam in Madison. We have a little bit of a hazy cloud cover right now across Madison, but you can see the live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville showing clear skies over southwestern Wisconsin, so the clouds shouldn't last too long. You can see those mid and high level hazy clouds kind of moving through on visible cloud track, but for the most part, skies will clear out pretty quickly after dark. Temperatures right now are milder than yesterday. Madison right now it's 70 degrees, Janesville 73, La Crosse is as warm as 78, Milwaukee's at 75. By tomorrow morning, we'll be down to about 53 degrees with mostly clear skies overnight. Tomorrow will be another sunny and mild day with a high temperature in Madison at 69 degrees. Later on, I'll take a look at a forecast that includes mild weather into the early part of next week.
All right, Gary, thank you. An Arkdale woman is dead after being hit by a truck yesterday in Adams County. Deputies say they were called to 903 3rd Avenue in the town of Colburn yesterday evening. Officials say 80-year-old Lavina Pumphrey walked in front of a truck which was unloading potatoes. Deputies say the driver did not see her and hit her. She was pronounced dead at the scene.
A former Columbus music teacher has entered a plea after being accused of slapping a student on the thigh. Court records show Aristotle Esguerra pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct. Esguerra was originally charged with child abuse but was changed to disorderly conduct. The criminal complaint said a Columbia County Police Department officer said a witness contacted him to report a child being struck by a teacher at St. Jerome School in 2018. The child was taken to the hospital for a bruise on their leg.
Madison's mayor doesn't get the final say on how to spend the city's money, but she plays a big part in the process. Satya Rhodes Conway presented her plan for next year.
It's filled with a lot of difficult cuts and changes. Amy Reed live with us now to explain where the mayor wants the city to focus its resources. Amy?
The city is having to make up for a $25 million shortfall that's partly due to the coronavirus. The mayor said this proposal has to balance that with still moving forward on the city's priorities.
As you all know, 2020 has been an absolutely unprecedented and challenging year.
Challenges that are spilling over into next year as the mayor announced millions in proposed budget cuts.
Some of our biggest challenges, like the COVID-19 pandemic and the housing crisis, are made worse by the lack of response at the federal level. Partisan gridlock at the state level has also hindered our response.
Rhodes Conway planned for $3.3 million cuts to agency budgets, including 5% in her own office. She said every department is impacted, though she intentionally tried to minimize the hit to social services.
Madison's residents need our social and public health services now more than ever. And that's why I did not make any cuts to the Community Development Division.
She also doesn't want to see the city take any steps back on equality, which means changes in the police department. The mayor is proposing the fire department develop a crisis intervention team and crossing guards move to city engineering. She also wants to start a violence prevention unit as part of the public health department. Rhodes Conway said she also needs the police and fire unions to renegotiate parts of their contracts she said are no longer realistic, and she's asking the chief to find $1 million to cut. The police department told us Chief Wall will be reviewing the 2021 executive operating budget with command staff to determine the impact on MPD and public safety in Madison. He will focus on finding the best path forward to balance tight budget constraints with the needs of the department and the community. This budget is far from set. The city council will be unpacking and repacking it over the next few months before they have to approve the final version for 2021.
Amy, thank you. More to come on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, the election. Less than a month away. The latest on how many ballots have already been returned in the city of Madison. And coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 6, public health officials open a free drive-through flu clinic for anyone without insurance. Hey, you can get your flu shot. That's ahead tonight, News 3 Now at 6. And after strong Monday gains, the Dow taking a bit of a dive today, falling 376 points. NASDAQ off 178. S&P tumbles almost 48. We'll be right back.
Attention homeowners, we started out looking for 50 homes and now we're down to 30. Thank you for your response. If you want to participate in our home evaluation program and get those old windows out before winter, call in now. Zip code and location are important. We'll put a good neighbor sign in your yard and you're going to save a lot of money on our Eco Sky windows from Mad City Windows with Sky Mirror technology. Beautiful windows that keep the cold out in the wintertime. We've been in the #1 spot as the top-rated remodeler here in Wisconsin for the last 8 years. And now you can be one of 30 homeowners to save a lot of money on new windows. 75% off labor, 60 months zero interest, a $100 Walmart gift card with purchase as we compensate you for your time, $50 Amazon gift card with your estimate, and be sure to ask about virtual online estimates. Call 608-338-1616. That's 608-338-1616. MadCityWindows.com.
We believe every baby deserves a healthy start. Yet many new parents in our community are struggling to afford the basic necessities. You can help change that.
October 8th through 11th, please donate to the News 3 Now Community Baby Shower. Drop off infant care items safely at these no-contact drive-through sites throughout Madison. Visit Channel 3000 for complete details. News 3 Now Community Baby Shower, sponsored by Viridian Homes and Dave Jones, Inc.
What would Joe Biden's plan do for you? Families with young children could get nearly $7,000 for childcare. Buying your first home, you'll get $15,000 towards the down payment. If you get paid by the hour, your income could grow by as much as $14,000. Older seniors, your yearly Social Security benefits could increase by $1,300. The Biden plan. The wealthy and big corporations pay more, you benefit.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Andrew Larson here, owner of Larson Home Services. You know your gutters are filling up fast and you're going to have to clean them eventually. Why not give up that chore forever with a new Leaf Guard gutter system, guaranteed to never clog and the only gutter system with a Good Housekeeping seal. you can leave that ladder in your garage forever. And now is the perfect time. It's our biggest deal of the year. Free installation labor, no interest for 12 months, and a $100 Visa gift card with your Leaf Guard purchase. Call now to set up a free estimate.
Tonight at 6, public health officials open a free drive-through flu clinic for anyone without insurance. And Governor Evers directs state health officials to limit indoor public gatherings to 25%.
Wisconsin voters deserve the truth. I'm News 3 Now's Amy Reed. I'm breaking down political ads, explaining whose money is behind them and separating truth from misinformation. Get the facts with Reality Check, only on News 3 Now.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. Voters in Dane County are clearly listening to what clerks are asking. Get your ballots in early.
About 1 in 5 of the 545,000 absentee ballots already returned statewide come from Dane County itself. Naomi Coles looked at the numbers, and she explains what that could mean for turnout come November 3rd. Naomi?
Dane County leads the state in most ballots already cast. That's well beyond Milwaukee County's 85,000, and that's despite more people living there. The city, Madison, is 1/3 of the way to reaching total turnout for the 2016 election based purely on its absentee votes to this point. More than 50,000 absentee ballots are back with Madison's clerk. For comparison, about 154,000 people total voted in Madison in 2016.
We have over 50% of our absentees issued already returned to be counted, which is good. I know there are hundreds of voters coming to our office a day to return their absentees in person, and we're receiving thousands of absentees in the mail each day.
Clerk Witzelbell credits the city's Democracy in the Park events for boosting those numbers. Staff collected about 16,000 ballots over the last 2 weekends, and that's despite Republicans saying it could be illegal. 5 voters have asked a Dane County Circuit judge to declare the event legal. So that's the city of Madison. What about the surrounding communities, and how do they compare to Milwaukee's suburbs? The answer is coming up tonight at 6.
All right, Naomi, thank you. Miller Park and Fiserv Forum will no longer be used as in-person absentee sites for the 2020 election. Officials with the City of Milwaukee Election Commission cited legal challenge concerns. While the 2 venues will no longer be available for in-person absentee voting, the city is still offering 13 other sites throughout the city where voters can submit their absentee ballots.
The vice presidential debate between Republican Mike Pence and Democrat Senator Kamala Harris will be happening tomorrow. It will be held at Kingsbury Hall in Salt Lake City, Utah. CBS News coverage starts right here on News 3 at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. With less than a month to go before Election Day, a new CNN poll shows Joe Biden with his biggest lead of the 2020 campaign, a 16-point national advantage over President Trump. 57% of likely voters say they plan to vote for the former vice president, while 41% of likely voters say they will vote for President Trump.
Hurricane Delta intensifying quickly in the Caribbean. It became a Category 4 storm this morning. It's expected to make landfall near Cancun tonight. From there, it'll turn toward the U.S. Gulf Coast. Delta should make landfall somewhere between Texas and the Florida Panhandle Friday night. That has Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards warning coastal communities that it's time to prepare.
Boy, for us, the weather doesn't get much nicer than this. Let's get a check on the forecast with Gary.
You know, and a lot of times when we have a big tropical weather system in the Gulf of Mexico, the weather across the rest of the country stays pretty quiet. That's exactly what's happening right now. You can see powerful Hurricane Delta. In the last 24 hours, it's gone from a tropical storm to a Category 4 hurricane. That's what you call rapid intensification. Maximum sustained winds right now, 145 miles per hour with gusts to 175 miles per hour. Moving to the west-northwest at 17 miles per hour. Now, the path over the next 12 hours will bring it very close to the Yucatan Peninsula and Cancun, perhaps as a borderline Category 5 hurricane. Now, again, depending on how much of a path it takes over land before it gets back out in the Gulf of Mexico, that will determine how much weakening, if any, it has. But because of the fact it's moving fairly rapidly right now and will stay only a short period of time over land, it'll probably weaken into a Category 3 hurricane, which is still very powerful. And then as it moves back into the waters of the Gulf of Mexico, and the waters there are pretty warm, we're back to Category 4 strength. Now, eventually it'll weaken a little bit as it heads toward the U.S. mainland, but But again, right now the greatest zone of impact is somewhere along the Louisiana Gulf Coast, but it could be anywhere from East Texas to the western Florida Panhandle. The Hurricane Center forecast at about 3 days out have an average air of about 125 miles and an intensity air of about 15 miles per hour above and below what's listed there. So this could very easily still be a Category 4 hurricane as it pushes toward Louisiana. Of course, southwestern Louisiana, that was hit hard earlier this year. Anything closer to New Orleans, again, that counterclockwise wind circulation, like I talked about yesterday, brings a very significant storm surge into the New Orleans area because the wind and the geography just kind of piles up the water there. Eventually, as Delta moves inland, still moving into parts of western Mississippi, Category 3 hurricane strength. So this is going to cause a lot of wind damage along its path, also bringing heavy rain and the threat for tornadoes. And then eventually it weakens over parts of Tennessee, probably bringing heavy rains to middle Tennessee, as well as areas south of the Ohio River. Around the Midwest, not quite as cold last night. Previous night we had temperatures in the lower 30s in Madison. Last night we only dropped to 49. Still some upper 30s and lower 40s in the northern part of the state, but big things you need to know. The forecast remains sunny. We've got the dry weather through next Monday, and then some shower and thunderstorm chances on Tuesday. But again, at that point, we'll turn a little cooler for the end of next week. So there's Delta. You can see it kind of moving toward the Yucatan Peninsula, and then the upper air currents moving it more northerly or even northeasterly as it heads toward the U.S. coast. So again, depending on how far it gets into the Gulf of Mexico before it makes that turn, that will determine where it eventually makes landfall in the United States. But as I mentioned earlier, notice big powerful storm in the Gulf of Mexico. Rest of the country very quiet right now, and that includes the Midwest. Our weather is high and mild. You can see the high pressure moving in from the north and west, keeping the western part of the Midwest clear, and our weather staying very quiet for the next couple of days. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, another great day, high temperature at 69 degrees. As we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, lots of sunshine all the way through the weekend. Highs upper 60s on Thursday, mid-70s on Friday, low to mid-70s this weekend, mid-70s on Monday. Shower and thunderstorm chances on Tuesday. That's when a cold front comes through, and then temperatures drop back into the 60s and 50s toward the end of next week. As we take a look at first warn traffic, generally, conditions pretty good on the Beltline. We were seeing some slowdowns between Monona Drive and John Nolan Drive on the eastbound Beltline. Right now, maybe a little bit of a delay approaching Stoughton Road, but right now it's not affecting travel times much. About a 14 to 15 minute commute either direction on the Beltline between University Avenue and the interstate. Down to Janesville on I-3990 from the Beltline southward, it'll take you 27 minutes. 16 minutes to Sauk City on US 12 and 17 minutes to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
Gary, thank you. And ahead on News 3 Now at 5, COVID-19 cases are continuing to rise in Wisconsin, including the Fox Valley, what it means for Packer fans. It's ahead at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
You know, here at Mad City Windows, we'll personalize your windows to match your unique home and style. We love hearing from our customers. In fact, Neil was telling us that when we put the new windows in, it really made a difference.
It's a very big difference. Just the curb appeal, so to speak, from my house, it's gone up immensely.
And remember, our windows here at Mad City Windows have a 0.17 U factor, one of the lowest U factors in the industry, if not the lowest. And now you can be one of 30 homeowners to save a lot of money on new windows from Mad City Windows. 75% off labor for starters, 60 months, zero interest. We're going to compensate you for your time, $100 Walmart gift card with purchase, $50 Amazon gift card with your estimate. Ask about virtual online estimates. Call 608-338-1616. That's 608-338-1616. MadCityWindows.com.
The pandemic is spreading, and people with pre-existing health conditions are most at risk. But Donald Trump is still trying to repeal protections for people with pre-existing conditions. Joe Biden took on the insurance companies and forced them to cover pre-existing conditions. As president, he'll give Americans the choice to buy public health insurance like Medicare and bring down costs by negotiating with hospitals and drug companies. Joe has a plan. FF PAC's responsible for the content of this ad.
Protect your home with help from Menards. Seal your home against the elements with Quad Advanced Formula Outdoor Sealant. It can be applied to wet or dry surfaces, even at freezing temperatures. Only $4.49 after 11% rebate. Double down against those pesky leaks with Seal Best Roof Coating. It's easy to apply. Just roll, brush, or spray. A 4.75-gallon bucket is $54.99 after 11% rebate. Now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Our seniors that are being hit the hardest, they're frightened. And I want them to know that their health and safety will be my responsibility if I'm your president. And I'll have from day one, ready to go, the best medical experts and scientists to advise on our response. And I will not abandon you. It's a simple proposition, folks. We're all in this together. We got to fight this together. We'll emerge from this stronger because we did it together. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Hi, I'm Brian from McGann Furniture in Baraboo. We know that hardworking people want the most value for their money. When you shop at McGann's, we've already sorted out and selected the brands that we feel offer you the most bang for your buck. From young couples just starting out to people my age, we offer a huge selection at prices that will fit your budget. Plus, most purchases include free delivery and setup. Shop McGann Furniture in downtown Baraboo. You'll be glad you did.
The Green Bay Packers have announced the organization has put an indefinite hold on hosting fans at Lambeau Field this season. The organization says it's due to those increasing COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations, particularly in the Green Bay area, but also all across Wisconsin. In order to host fans, the area will need to see a marked improvement in hospitalization, community infection, and positivity rates. Packers president, CEO Mark Murphy, says Wisconsin is trending in the wrong direction. He's encouraging everyone to wear masks and social distance.
Exact Sciences in Madison is hiring hundreds of new employees. The company, which focuses on cancer treatment, is currently hiring 700 people across most of their departments. They're looking for people that are mission-driven and want to help others. Officials say about 1/3 of their employees are currently working from home, and if you're a parent, they are very flexible.
Thinking about, again, the way that we do things in order to make changes, potentially being more flexible in the hours that people are scheduled, being more flexible in the location and where they do their work and when they get it done. Also how they work with their teams. So we've changed schedules. We've been able to offer resources for employees to help balance maybe the new roles that they've taken on at home or with their children, as well as being able to still meet the needs that we have to serve patients.
Exact Sciences encourages employees to be involved within the community. They help with job training programs at the Urban League, and they give their employees time off to volunteer.
Stay with us. We'll have a final check of your first warn forecast in just a moment.
Hey, Madison voters, don't let the pandemic suppress your vote. Create your safe voting plan now. You have options. Visit cityofmadison.com/clerk to create your safe voting plan today. Brought to you by the Madison City Clerk's Office.
You know, here at Mad City Windows, you can count on us to do the right thing and put the right product in your home. We've been around for years. In fact, our windows offer the bright and cozy feel with an abundance of natural light. Not just any window, the Eco Sky window with Sky Mirror technology. Look at the extra layers of low E. We're going to give your home an energy upgrade this winter. Whatever size you need, bay, bow, double hung, slider. Remember, time's running out. To take advantage of this special offer, be one of 30 homeowners to participate in our home evaluation program. Zip code and location are important. Now, more than 30 will call in, but only 30 will qualify. 75% off labor, 60 months, 0 interest. You're going to be compensated for your time with a $100 Walmart gift card, $50 Amazon gift card. With your estimate, ask about virtual online appointments. Call 608-338-1616. That's 608-338-1616. MadCityWindows.com.
When Joe Biden wants an update on the virus, he calls on the nation's top health experts. Working together for all Americans is what Joe does. When writing his healthcare plan, Joe Biden worked with both doctors and patients to make healthcare affordable by lowering premiums, reducing drug costs, and protecting people with pre-existing conditions. Joe listened to both small business owners and workers to create his economic plan that cuts taxes for middle-class families, creates 18 million new jobs in his first term, and raises wages by as much as $15,000 a year. Joe Biden's plans will help working families immediately by making the super rich finally pay their fair share. For Joe, it's never been about ego. It's always been about the work he can do for working families. It's what he's always done. Joe Biden brings everyone to the table and gets it done.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Everyone loves a good snack, and we've got plenty to choose from at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. From classic candies and gummy go-tos to craveable chocolates and savory trail mixes, we're your snacking headquarters. Your choice of Farm and Fleet chocolate favorites or trail mixes, just $3.49. Get Farm and Fleet licorice or gummies, your choice, just $1.99. Cattleman's Cut beef jerky is only $9.99. Plus, buy online and pick up your items in our convenient drive-thru.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Hey, Madison voters, don't let the pandemic suppress your vote. Create your safe voting plan now. You have options. Visit cityofmadison.com/clerk to create your safe voting plan today. Brought to you by the Madison City Clerk's Office.
Gary has a final check.
Beautiful weather out there. There's the live view from the WISC Skycam showing clear skies at least east of Madison, or at least of our station. Right now, 70 degrees in town. Most areas in the low to mid 70s. Low temperature tonight dropping to 53. High tomorrow 69. Lots of sunshine in there. And the 7 to 10 day forecast. Sunshine through the weekend into early next week. Some thunderstorms Tuesday and then cooler after that.
Well, we're back in 30 for News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell.